Continuing. We're now looking at queries. And this is where the learners really sort of, they fell out of class. I don't know why. But as soon as you say queries, the learners go, oh, and they don't want to do it. And it's actually very straightforward and easy. Okay. Like I said, we get into the board, but the learners really go bomb out immediately. So what we need to look at is two ways of setting up a query. We either use the query wizard, or we use the query design. Now, when I was a teacher, I always said to my kids, with a query, you don't touch the wizard at all. Okay? But that's me. The reason why I said that to them is because when you use the query design and you select the table that you work from, you double click, it creates a little table window for you inside your query, and then you just click on your fields. Where with the wizard design, you have to go through a few steps. And it might take long. So for your learner that struggles with time, rather not show them the wizard. You can show it to them, but say, rather use the design immediately than the wizard. Okay. For those that know the wizard, they use the wizard. Okay. Then the next one where they struggle with is to recognize where to use the add query and where to use the or query. Because what's happening is the learners place everything in one single line in the criteria. They just keep on putting it in one single line. And then it's not giving them the correct results because they didn't read the question. They need to make sure they read the question correctly. Because remember, if they use the and, it must include both. Because that's the and. If it's the or, it means it's either the one field or the other field that must be according to the criteria that's being set. Okay. I normally use pens when I ask them to do this. I said, okay, bring for me the blue and the red pen. These kids don't, because they don't understand it. Then I need to bring both. And I said, okay, you can decide whether you bring the blue or the red pen. Then they said, but you just asked me to bring the blue and red. I said, you decide whether you bring the red or the blue. So then they start realizing what and or is all about. Okay. Activity 8. You're going to see with the queries after everyone we did it, we've got a small little activity to do. If we get closer to the time, okay, here we go. Question 8. There we go. Gender criteria need to be F. Insulin device criteria is either none, or serene, or none, or not like insulin. Now remember, these ors here is not the access ors. That's the other examples of how the learner could have done it. Okay. So what we look at is the following. So F, and then add, not like insulin. Or they could have had, where the not like insulin was, I could have said syringe or none. Okay? Show you. There's the none one alone. And there's the or. Now as soon as they put it in the same line and there was the or in between, they have to have the word or in between there. Okay. If they don't put the word or there, it's going to be seen as a and it might not even work. It's called as two. So please be careful of that. And that's how it looks. Question on this one. Everyone able to get this one? I see some frowning. Okay. Good, we're going on. Activity 9. This is one with a date. Remember we spoke about it, the date one was so important. So there we go. Create a query called query 55. Only name and surname fields are displayed. Number of nice criteria. Smaller than or equal to 5 or less than 6. Non-field criteria, smaller than 800 or bigger than 2000. The view criteria is null or not like with a star. That just means any data. And operator for all field criteria. So only 2 records explained, so there we go. So under number of nights, it's less than or equal to 5, amount, it's less than 800 or more than 2,000, and date of birth is 0. Happy with that one? So how did we mark? We looked at, first of all, we looked at make sure that only the name and surname fields are displayed, meaning the ticks need to be removed from the other fields. Then we move on, and we look at amount itself for the criteria. First the 5, so it's the number of nights they've spent. Then we look at the amount we have. And then we look at is 0. Then the date of birth. And then the whole thing together as an AND. So it needed to be displayed as an AND in one field. Okay. Happy with that one? Now, group by and function queries. How do we set up the group by and the function query? Now, first of all, what we do is when we are in our query, we go and we right click on the show and hide group. When you right click on the show and hide group, it shows you a new window with the totals, table names, captainers. And then you click on totals, and it will now add the total field into your query. Total display. When you have the total display there, you click on the drop down arrow, and then you can select either the type of function that you want to use, or in a way you are grouping your query. So here you can use the group by, and it will come up with a group by, and as you can see, you can change it for every single field. Because we have our country and our expenses type is grouped by certain headings, and then the sum of amount we need to do a function for us of total. Yeah, so show more examples.
Okay, so you would actually group by gender because you want male and female listed, and then you can either count gender or you can count names. You can count any field that has a value for each record. So I usually tell them you can just count the same one again. So if we delete this thing, then you'll see we have a total of how many females there are and how many males there are. And the way I always show the kids is, I'm just going to magnify this. If you look here, do you see this one says gender and this one says count of gender. So then you know the one that doesn't specify what's been done on it, that's the one that's been grouped. And the one that specifies, it shows you which field to use and it shows you what function was used on it. And that's the screenshot they always give you in an exam. So let's say we want a breakdown of the insulin devices that the people use. Then we want the insulin devices as the grouping level, because that's basically the labels that we want if we had done it in Excel. And then we can count any field. Whatever we want, if there's a value for each person, we can use that field to count. So then I would go back to my design view, and I would change this one to the insulin device. I can do two. I can say, let's put another one. I'm going to put gender and group it by that as well. Then you'll see it does a second grouping. And then I can count, let's count names. Doesn't matter what we count. Count can be done on anyone that has values for everything. So then I can get a little summary table that says per device and per gender how many participants use that. And you'll see with the names, do you see these two that were grouped is the original name. It doesn't specify what function was done on it. The one where there was actually a function done on it says what function was done, and it says count of, or sum of, or average of. It actually specifies that in front.
ladies and gentlemen, while you've got a screen in front of you, what's also important is that we need to remember to link our programs to one another. Now what we have done here in this query now, with the totals that's been added and a group by and the totals and so on, is similar to your subtotal function in your Excel. Because what does your subtotal function do in Excel? It groups it according to, like now we had the insulin pin here, it groups it according to those fields, and then it will count or add up another specific field that you have asked it to count or add up. Okay, according to that grouping that was done. Another way to explain this group by is to explain it to the learners that your group by here is the same as when you do your grouping in your report. When you create your group fields in your report. It's the same. So it's not something new. They've done it before, but they haven't done it in this type of way. Okay, happy with it? See, small things that, if you're not teaching, you don't pick up anymore. So there we go. Okay. But the main thing is to actually get the kids to know how to set it up. Because remember, it's not there. If it's not being set up, it's not going to show the total. And when it's not going to show the total, these kids will not know what to do with it and where to place it. Because they're going to say to you, but it's not there. So there we go. Then the activity, I'm only going to start cutting on activities. Because Natasha, what was the time that you said to the teacher they here until? 1. Okay, that's what I thought. So we need to start cutting on. So here we go. This is activity 10. Modify the query to display the total number of nights each accommodation will be visited as shown in a table below. So remember she just showed you the sum of. And this is what they know. This is what she showed you. So we're looking at accommodation and we want to add the sum of nights, number of nights at that specific accommodation. So that's your little hint. Solution first. There must be a total group by row displayed, so it must be in there. And then the sum selected for number of nights field in the total row. So what does it look like? Then we have accommodations. And then we need to now have the number of nights. So what happens is we group by the accommodations and we add up the number of nights. Okay, there we are. And there's the sum. This was the easy one. Yeah. Okay. Happy with that one? No question on this one. Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you see how we mark as well, because that's part of the training. It's actually to see how questions are being marked. So we're doing two things at once. Okay, query 11, the 2016 one. This is what she also explained to us now, where they just give the screenshot to the learners, and they ask the learners to do the functions. So it's open query 5.3. Modify the query so that it displays the total number of points owned by American United States investor as shown below. Here we go. So we got our investor country. That's group by, and here's a little bit because it's got a criteria as well. It's not just a basic group by, it's group by according to a criteria, and the criteria is United States. And then the number of coins needed to be added up with the sum. Now, very important, remember the key focus here were on those two fields only. If the learner has now included the other fields in the query, you're not going to penalize him on the other fields that's being added, as we can see here. If more fields have been added to the query, because the main focus will only be on those two fields. And then we've got some. This is actually quite easy. I really don't understand why the kids don't get this concept. Because it's literally click, click, but again, it comes down to reading the question. Reading and understanding on which fields you are using the grouping by. Okay. Now, activity 12, you're not going to do, I'm going to show it to you. because of time limits. So we're going to start doing things like that. Every now and then we'll stop and I'll just show you the activity itself. It says create a query called 5.4 based on a participant deelnemer table. The sum of number of test fields uses, no test field, and will be calculated by using aggregate functions. The name of the field sum of no test may differ. So it means if your learner comes up with a different field name, it's not a creation, it may differ. So what does the solution look like? Display educational level, the type, and the sum of number of test fields. So those three must be displayed for 1 mark. Now ladies and gentlemen, this is very important. If one of those fields are not displayed, it's 0 marks. Because all 3 of those fields must be there for the 1 mark. And remember, we don't get half marks. You won't believe it, I still get teachers that mark in halves. I don't understand why. Good job, we still get it. Then we look for the group by that need to be displayed, meaning the total property must be visible. Then underneath the number of tests, we want the sum property to be here, to add up the row. In the end, we have 16 records, except if no test display instead of sum of no test. So if the field say no test, we also accept it. So they're not very strict here on the name of the field. So there we go, this is what it looks like. First of all, those 3 fields must be there. Now what happened here is the learner had to put in a new field called sum of number of tests. And then a participant must be there and then there's sum underneath it. So there we have our group by, there's the sum. People have one. Next activity, activity 13. No, sorry. Calculated fields. I'm not getting too rushing on. Just like with the calculated field in a table, learners struggle with the calculated field in a query. And for me, the reason might be is because when they start typing in the calculated field, it's a small area and you can't display it again, you can't see what you're typing, and then you're missing it. So what I've learned here now, an easy way is to actually create your calculated table with your expression builder. Okay, it's just easier because they can visually see what they have typed. Because remember, I don't know if you also picked it up, if you start typing in those field options, it's so small, I sometimes forgot what I've typed in the front. And then you have to scroll back again because it doesn't view the whole thing for you at the time. Now, how do we go about with the calculated field? Now you know that it's got a new field name, a function, the existing field names that you use. I don't need to explain that. So there's 2 ways. The first one is using the query builder. If you set it up with the query builder. Now, what's important here is, you'll see now it doesn't include the expression name in the front. If you just go and create the calculated field with the expression builder, and you say OK, you'll see it automatically will put that EXPR1 field name in the front. Now we've tried quite a few ones. We even went and we typed in the field name, the new field name, with the double pointer. No, the colons, there you go. With the colons. If you go into the expression builder, it's still going to put in the EXPR field name. Then the learner needs to just, inside the expression builder, delete it. And then it will work. I'll show you now what I mean. So what happens is, very similar to what we've done now with the calculated table, we do the same in the query field. We open it up, we take our field name, and we type in the rest of the function that we need for it. And we click on OK. Now, change the field heading for expressions. So this is what's going to happen. It's going to come up with the EXPR. So the learner can either change it inside the builder, or they change it inside the query to the next name. And then you have your new field. Now I want to show you what I meant by what the query does, the expression builder does. we've done so many different. Let's take another different query. Yeah, that one will work. Number of tests and test fee. I now need to work out the total cost. Okay? So I want to go in, up here, I want to work out the total cost. When I'm in here, I go to my builder, there it is in the query setup. Click on a builder, and I now just say my number of tests. This is where I've got to multiply by. See, I'm using the same examples over and over again. Multiply by my test fee. When I say OK, it plays the EXPR1. See? So all I now do is, if I don't want to change it in here, I just go back to my builder, and I take it from here, but then and there it's done. So there is the correct name field now, and it's nicely done. The reason for doing it like this is because, you know what, the learners go back, and they now only want to fix the field name. But then they start deleting more than just the field name. So that's why it's better to go back into your builder and change it, so they make a spelling error, like I've done now. They made a spelling error, go back into the builder, fix it in the builder, and say OK. Instead of trying to fix it in the small area. Okay. Happy with this? Okay. Let's just delete this whole thing. I need to set up a calculated field. So I'm in my new field where I need to set it up. Go to my builder, and I select the fields that need to be worked out with. So for instance, the number of tests. Multiply the test fee itself. Then I click on OK. Now what it does, it creates its own default heading for the field name. Instead of now trying to delete it here, because this is where the learners make the biggest error, go back to the builder and only in here, because here you can see it nice and clear. You now change it to total cost. And you say OK, and it's there. And now I hope it works. Small little things that you pick up, working with it. Because it really got to me, because it's this small area where you have to now type in a calculated field. Especially 2 years ago when we had a very long calculated field. If you make one error, you start deleting, you delete the whole thing. So if you're in the expression builder, you can easily go and fix the errors. So show them the expression builder here with a calculated field. Okay. So here we go. Next one, activity 13. This is now based on the calculated fields. Okay, first we look at a calculated field. This was a nice, easy one. I think I actually did it. I just didn't. You see, I did the activity for you. It's just the field name is different. So here we go. Paid field, the name, number of tests, multiply by the test fee. Display names, no tests, and paid fields. Note to marker, formatting of paid field is not required. Meaning the kids didn't need to go and make it now visible or any of those things. The main aim here is the calculated field itself. Okay, so there we go. That's what it looks like. So there's our fields. Okay. The next one I'm quickly going to show you, or else we're going to run out of time, and then we'll do the activity 15. So activity 14, you need to display only the investor name, investor surname, investor date fields, as well as a new calculated check match field. Add a calculated field called check match that will check whether the investor country and the investor region is the same or not. Display the records of those investors who invested in coins during the period of that specific period. So now we know we've got a specific period that we're looking at as well. Okay. And then the solution towards it. So we've got fields displayed with the investor name, investor surname, investment date, and then a new field check match. Then the criteria that we need to have, because remember we worked with a date, so we have to have a date criteria. So for investment date, there's a specific criteria. And the second option, because there was an and, 2 dates. Then in the calculated field, we have the new name, the check match. The investor country is equal to the investor region. Or you could have said with a double if you have shown your kids a double if, a nested if the investor country is equal to the investor regional, the true and the false. But I'm not sure how many of the kids actually got to that last one, if they ever got it. So what does it look like? Underneath the investment date, we have the between. Now remember, those others are options. So it's a between the first date and the second date that was given to us. That's another option on how to put it. Don't penalize twice for omitting the equals sign. So here they don't penalize. Remember, we were asking this in the previous one. Okay? So for this one, they do say don't worry if it's two. The equal sign. And then the last one. I think if the main focus was not necessarily so much on the criteria, then they don't say we don't penalize them on the. If it's only for the criteria, only then you penalize them. Because the main focus here is actually the calculated field that need to be typed correctly. Because it's here, it's 1 mark only. So you also just check on the mark allocation. And then there's the year one that you use. And now we look at the calculated field itself. So the first option, when the investor country is equal to the investor region. And it gets the marks. Activity 15, we'll quickly try this one. So here we have our calculated field with the different options. Discount is the amount minus the amount times 10 divided by 100. So I can assume it's a 10% discount on that specific amount. Or they can say amount minus amount times 0.1, or amount times 0.9, or amount times 90 divided by 100. That's the different options. So where does the mark come from? The marks come from creating the new calculated field. They need to do the 10% calculation on the original amount, and then it needs to be subtracted together, final amount, the discount amount. So they say that we can accept building blocks here. So please, you can even teach your kids to do building blocks, even in Excel. So what we do with the discount, amount, there we go. So that's the first. There's the options. So that's what I look at with the discount. So it's discount amount minus the amount times the 10 divided by 10, or times the 0.1 times the 0.9, or times it. Why is this now? No marks if calculation in criteria. Remember, it must be inside a calculated field. Okay, first mark for the expression that must be discount. So they shouldn't have the word expression discount, must just have the discount. But now what they're doing here is that the first mark will go for the new name discount.